Dundee applauding the champions as they come onto the pitch. And in this, the last home league game of a glorious season for them, it's fitting that Celtic Park is bathed in resplendent sunshine. And I doubt if Celtic will treat this, though, as an end-of-term game, given they're only 3 points away from that irresistible century. And Henrik Larsson 1 goal away from beating Brian McClare's league record. Well, Celtic make 2 changes from last week at Easter Road. Young Jimmy Smith comes in, Tom Boyd resorts to the bench, Alan Stubbs as well, allowing the return of Johan Mjolby. The big Swede scored a dramatic winner against Dundee last time they played at Celtic Park. No Kanigia in the Dundee side, and if you ask anybody at Ibrox where he's going to be next week, you get from them the same evasion you get from politicians on the subject of tax in an election. But I think he's left them behind for good, and this is the side with 3 changes from last week. Coyne, Del Rio and Mark Robertson are in the side. And starting off, the man who came on as a sub at half-time for Kanigia in the last game, Fabian Caballero. And he really played exceptionally well. He had a spell with Arsenal back in 1988, but is now in a new 1-year contract. And the referee today, Mr. Tom Brown. Well, Dundee played some very good football against Celtic. The last game we saw here, one of the best games I've seen at Celtic Park in terms of the competition the opposition laid on against them. I think they'll try and do exactly the same. They moved the ball about intelligently. Well, Dundee in the first 7 minutes have had plenty possession, but here's the counter-attack. Celtic flooding forward. Larsson calling for the ball. Goes to Manapchik. He likes his situation. That's a lovely little ball inside, and that really would have ended up in the arms of the goalkeeper there. But Coyne, the Australian, decided to make absolutely sure. Still up for grabs. Very awkward pull there by Robertson. Well, look at this run forward here. This is what he loves. Does he have the pace? He does. And that was a nervy-looking Dundee defence. No wonder when the ball is played forward like that. The defender had plenty of time to get to it, but the very presence of Larsson homing in and goal, the legs seemed to freeze. His didn't, and neither did the goalkeepers. Really got in his way. Typical Larsson break. Lennon. Picked up by Ray. Nice little touch by Altero's, beginning to come inside just a little bit more, like this. Carranza brought that down very well indeed. Ray goes again. That's a decent ball forward. And that's a goal. That's a beautiful goal. Well, Caballero had the opportunity almost to pick his spot in the net. Now, that's been coming because the football by Dundee, at least in terms of possession, has been very neat. Lots of passes. Didn't have much penetration until now, 28 minutes into the game. Beautiful play by Caballero, whom I mentioned right at the start. Came on in place of Kanigia the last time he was here and showed how well he can play. Now that's excellent control by any standard. Kept his head, good balance, didn't panic and slotted it away. And again, followed well by McNamara and picked up by Lambert. He'll try to inject some more pulsating rhythm into this. Plays away. Must put it away. He misses it. Well, I think he may have been put off by what almost turned into a wrestling match as he went through here. There was the arm across the Dundee defender, and he stuck in their slip, giving him the opportunity. Well, history was staring him in the face, that record of Brian McClare's. And it may have been a little obstruction to him, more than just the Dundee defender. Far too wide. Billy is down and he is suffering. I think he twisted himself. As I said, something of a wrestling match, and there he goes down, writhing in agony after that contact. It seems to be all right. They're taking him off. And he's been red carded. Well, that was for the incident with Larson. And Dundee down to 10 men as a result of this. A lot of wrestling going on there. He goes across the body, and is that decision a bit harsh? Nice turn by Larson as expected. He's away. Hits out a little bit too strong, and look at this. The Dundee defender trying to be too clever by half. That should have been played away. You simply cannot gamble on taking chances like this against such a player. Look at the way he comes in here, wants to move round him. No concentration, or at least no proper concentration. A little bit perplexed now. He's seen his side go behind. In a rather lackluster way. A few words spoken, probably in jest at half-time. Caballero is all on his own. Good play. Tries to play it wide, and he does. Artero's up there. Didn't come in quickly enough. It's the second one. Caballero with a Celtic defence looking extremely flat. 3 minutes to go in this half. And Dundee, who are really back on their heels after losing the man, come forward in that intelligent way again. And Artero, as I said, been picking up a lot on the right-hand side, squaring it in there. And I think Caballero might have felt he wouldn't have got that ball played through to him, but it did. And Celtic are now 2 behind. Here's Lennon. Check. Offside, McNamara. There goes the half-time whistle in this extraordinary half. Celtic starting off in a very, very leisurely fashion. I didn't predict that. I thought they would be really putting the shoulder to the wheel again. It certainly didn't look like that. And all the very good possession football by Dundee eventually paid off. The hero of the day, of course, Fabian Caballero. His first goal was really exquisite by any standards. Not just about knowing where to put the ball in the back of the net, but the way he did it, which required composure, fine judgment, neat touch, and it all paid off. And then that sending off offence to Kishanashvili after that little wrestling match, as I pointed out at the time with Henrik Larsson. They looked as if they might stagger after that, and then Artero on the right-hand side, who, as I said repeatedly, is very effective in these long runs, squaring that ball for the second one. Celtic staggered by that, but I suggest against 10 men they'll be putting the foot on the accelerator now at half-time with the score Celtic 0, Dundee 2. Slightly delayed for Caballero to tie his bootlace there, and meanwhile Celtic have made 2 substitutions with Tommy Boyd now on in place of Vega, and another youngster being introduced, Sean Maloney, in place of Jenny Smith. You know, thinking of that kickoff we had there, the very first hat-trick that Henrik Larsson ever scored in Scotland was against Dundee 3 years ago. Well, he hasn't scored against Dundee this season so far. He's got 45 minutes to make amends, and given the circumstances he finds himself in with his colleagues, I don't think the incentive could be any greater. 2 behind. A shot with that. Thompson. It's a decent ball in that, and no! Just saved brilliantly. Langfield. He really did look vulnerable as that ball was thrown across him. That's a great save. Just watch what he has to do here to keep this out. Langfield proving his worth today in the first couple of minutes of this half with two outstanding saves. This time from Mjolby, two headers kept out in the space of 60 seconds, and that look headed for the corner of the net. Thompson. Neat little double shuffle. Final ball's going to be crucial, and again Maloney thwarted for the second time by an impressive goalkeeper. I think he hit it just a little bit too directly at him that time. Positive clearance, now Moravcik. Gets support from Thompson once again on this left-hand line, and there's Larson. For the first time in the game, he rose majestically above them all. I know he makes it ridiculously simple looking, but it takes a tremendous effort in timing and jumping to do that sort of thing, but once again, off mark. I lost his boot in that, but the play goes on. That's a good tackle by Larson, who's coming back to defend, would you believe? Oh, there's too much in that. And he's put that out. It's Vito Carranza who's down there. Quite frankly, I think he should have got a free kick. He quite accidentally, he was tripped. It was there, I think, the referee should have stopped the play. He carried on, of course. And now Dundee, for the moment anyway, are down to 9 men. There's a perplexed Italian. Mamma mia. Well, I think Carranza is going to be prepared to come back on again. There's Moravcik. Comes back on. Here he is. There's a beautiful ball forward. Gavin Ray goes wide. He's going in goal now. And just passed. Well, he'll regret that, I think. He ran fully 30 yards. And that's the difference between the young developing player and a player the likes of a Caballero, who showed his poise by example in the first half. Oh, it should have been played inside almost immediately. And a great save by Gill. Still not there. Cleared. And away by Mjolby. Once again, that Celtic defence looked to be in shreds. Indeed, now, I think beginning to feel the physical effort of playing with the 10 men for so long. It's going to be a harrowing last 20 minutes for them. Not been easy up till now either, but Thompson. Several players coming up there, and once again Larson was in the right spot but with the wrong touch. It came to him very quickly. This may be an indication of this time of the season, you know, run about any time from about September to March. You're going to put these away with the greatest of ease. Left on his own, Caballero. Absolutely no cover here. No penalty, that was a good tackle. But while wide that gap appeared, even two could have picked it up. Now this is an excellent tackle, right in for the ball. Oh, I think very cunningly Larsson let that bounce. Everybody thought, except the Dundee defenders and the goalkeeper, Jimmy Langfield, thought that he was going to go for it. And that very awkward bounce almost produced the first Celtic goal. All the big men are in there. Oh, how did Moravcik miss it? And Barry Smith is being looked at by the goalkeeper with some disdain, I may say. No wonder. I mean, where was the marking for Moravcik? And there we are, a remarkable afternoon. On the very last home game in the league, Celtic have conceded their first defeat of the season, but the Celtic supporters are rising to them. I mean, these things do happen. Having said that, all credit to Dundee. You cannot heap too much praise on a side which was reduced to 10 men for so long. The ordering off didn't make them crumble. They fought to the end. They had their chances near the end as well. Could have made it even 3. But this is a remarkable victory for this side. All credit to them. The final score, Celtic 0, Dundee 2.
This time, unfortunately, we won 2-0 in this wonderful stadium, in this wonderful atmosphere. It's important because this is the way that we have to play with this kind of mentality. And then when we lost the player, I mean, it was more difficult than normal, play 10 against 11, but we were lucky to score the second goal very close. So the second goal, it gave it to us some quiet time, and that's why we were concentration. And at the end of the day, we had another couple of chances in the second half.
We played poorly, didn't play well enough in the first half, found ourselves 2 goals behind at half-time, and it was just one of those days. It's a long time since we've been beaten in a game, but I have to say, with 97 points on the board, I won't consider it much of a crisis.
In that occasion, I saw Larsson and Zurab fight each other, running, try to stay up. And then I believe that there was a contact between them with the legs, occasional. And then, but Larsson, he has a chance to go on and score, in fact. But he made a mistake. But in that time, I was very worried for Zurab, for his knee, because I didn't see what was happening. And when I saw the red card, I was very angry.
I can guarantee you'll be criticised for allowing the players to go and play golf this week. How will you react to that?
I couldn't care less. If someone, it'll be the same people who criticise us who actually said that 97 points is not really enough, you know?
I think it was a battling performance, especially coming to a place like Parkhead. It's hard enough playing the 11 men, but the 10 men, like, to get the results is absolutely brilliant for us, the players, the management staff, and also the fans, because we've been here before and we've been unlucky, and avenged that today.
Jamie Langfield, all smiles. Andy Walker and myself were both at that game today. It was a funny old game, wasn't it?
It was. I think for the first time this season, Celtic's application wasn't right from the start, and it cost them. They got into the game in the second half, but by that time Dundee had scored 2 great goals and were worthy of their lead.
I was going to say that. I thought they were worthy winners, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Even in the second half, they played very well on the counter-attack, created 1 or 2 chances. Gavin Ray had a great opportunity, and I thought they ran out worthy winners in the end. They've had a great season against Celtic. They've played very well, but not get any points.
What about the red card? Ivano Benetti very angry about this. Kishan Svili going through with Larsson. Now, I thought it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, I actually felt as though Kishanishvili had half a yard on Larsson there, and I thought the foul was going to go in his favour. And for him to get a red card, I think, is quite astonishing. You could see there, I think he's just ahead of Larsson half a yard, and I think he even waved play on, so Larsson still has the opportunity to score.
You can even say there that Larsson's maybe had a little kick at him.
He has. There's a tangle of legs. Larsson's had a wee kick at him. That's why he's struggling there, and I just felt as though the referee got it wrong there.
Well, he walked, but Dundee buckled down, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They reorganised. Barry Smith came in from his right-back position, played right of centre and defence, and I thought he was excellent. His tackle in the second half to deny Larsson was first class, and they had a lot of good players on the pitch today.
Let's have a look at Caballero's 2 goals, because he's come back from a horrendous injury, and people have said he's looked overweight.
Yeah, I think he's still maybe got a bit of conditioning to do, but that finish there is beautiful. I had a great view of it. He just had to pass it into a very tight space. His turn here is a very good one. Leaves Valharin for dead, and to pass it into the corner like that is great. And credit to him, Jim. You know, he's been out for a long time, a lot of months, and for any striker to come back after that and score a couple of goals is great.
What about the second one, Celtic defensively, Artero's low cross?
Well, I think the ball going through the defender's legs there maybe confused someone. I don't know if Jonathan Gould could maybe have got to it before. You see it there going through Valharin's legs, I think. But again, Caballero's in the right place. And credit to Mark Robertson for him to release Artero on the right-hand side was excellent.
Yeah, Artero was, that was the intelligent ball, wasn't it?
It was, and it was the one that really created the chance for him to play it in, and Caballero doing what every good striker should do, getting into the 6-yard box and finishing.
And unlike Caniggia, who we believe is going to Rangers tomorrow, Caballero has committed to Dundee, and you'd think he can only get fitter and get better.
I think had he been playing the whole season, I think he would have scored a lot of goals. I think he's got a bit of quality about him. His game outside the box is very good. We've seen him score a number of goals, left foot, right foot. It doesn't seem to be a problem to him. I think a fully fit Caballero next season will be a big asset to Dundee.
What about Jamie Langfield, the goalkeeper? Because I don't think Benetti really fancied him when he sold Rab Douglas to Celtic, because he went out and got Riccati, but it's because Riccati's injured that Langfield's in.
Yeah, he didn't rate him early on, did he? But I think today he had the game of his life. I don't think Sean Maloney had the best contact there, and that one hit him more than anything else, but this save from the Albi is fantastic. It's gone right into the corner, and he shows great agility to palm that away with 2 hands.
You can't really fault Celtic in terms of the chances they made, especially in the second half, Andy.
Well, they had a great second half. It was just that they were 2 down before they decided to play, and I think you can allow them that blip, Jim. It's the first time this season that really the attitude from the word goal wasn't quite spot on.
Yeah, and Martin O'Neill was pointing out at the end that 97 points is more than enough. I mean, they've only lost 5 at home, 2 to Hibs and 3 to Dundee today.
Yeah, and I think they can still get the 100 points next week. Tough game away to Kilmarnock, who are chasing European spots, so everything to play for next week.
Well, as you say, Kilmarnock have still got plenty to play for as well, you would think.
Yeah, and it should be a good game. Kilmarnock didn't do so well yesterday, lost a lot of goals at Ibrox, but I mean, a huge prize for them if they can clinch that European spot.
Okay, Andy. Yep, I spoke to Jamie Langfield after the game, as you saw there. I complimented him on his saves, and he said, "Oh, thanks very much, but I was howling at cross balls," but there you are.